Sayyid al-Shuhada and the family members, the companions of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam. It's not just that we go through these rituals, it's not just a tradition, but Karbala is a great institution that we can learn lesson from. Karbala is not just for Shia, Karbala is not just for Muslims, Karbala is a great lesson for all the human beings upon earth. Whoever is calling himself or herself as a human being, they can derive message from Karbala. And Sayyid al-Shuhada, when he left Medina, the purpose of the departure from Medina, because it's not easy for someone to leave the hometown, especially the hometown where your mother is buried there, your grandfather is buried there, your brother is buried there. To leave that place, it's not easy. So the purpose that Sayyid al-Shuhada has departed Medina and he went to Makkah, and from Makkah he went to Karbala. What is the purpose behind? We have to understand that purpose. And since, especially for the children, when we gather during these sessions, these programs, and we go through Ayyam-e-Azha, like 2.5 months, what does it demand from us? Does it just demand from us to come and participate? Or is there a long-term message that we get from these Ayyam-e-Azha? What does Sayyid al-Shuhada wants from us? When he departed, what did he say? What was the message or slogan that he gave us when he departed Medina? He said, Inni lam akhruj ashiran wala batiran wala mufsidan wala zalima innama kharajtu li talabil islahi fi ummati jaddi Rasulullah. The message of Sayyid al-Shuhada, and our children has to pay attention to this message. He said, since the nation of Rasulullah, since the people who were saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, it's not that the people during that time they were not Muslims. A lot of people were Muslims, because Rasulullah, the 23 years of life of Rasulullah, the life of Makkah and then the life of Medina, and even afterwards, a lot of people came in under the umbrella of Islam, a lot of people. But what kind of Islam that was? We have to understand this one now. Because when you hear a word Islam, do not think that if somebody is saying that he is Muslim, or if somebody is propagating Islam, do not think that this is the right Islam that Rasulullah gave the message of. That Rasulullah preached Islam, that Rasulullah conveyed Islam. Because the message of Rasulullah was the message which was conveyed through the family of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam. So if that would not be the reason, then why did Sayyid al-Shuhada say that if you believe Islam and if Yazid is asking for bay'at to pledge allegiance towards Yazid, Sayyid al-Shuhada said, Alal Islam as-salam, that I do not like this Islam, I cannot second this Islam, I cannot pledge allegiance to a so-called caliph that he is calling himself a caliph, or he is calling himself that he is a true successor of Rasulullah. And Islam, the one he is preaching Islam, is actually not Islam. Why? Because he was denying the silsila of Wahi. He said there was no Wahi, there was no angel came down. He said there is no prophethood. So it means that the message of Sayyid al-Shuhada when he left, he said because the nation of the so-called Muslims, the people who were calling themselves Muslims, those Muslims were on the wrong path of Islam. That wasn't a right path. In every prayer you say, Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Oh Allah, just keep us guided on the straight path. So the straight path of Islam is the path of Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. So if it would not be the reason, then why do we have 73 sections of Islam today? Why we have 73 sects today while the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he brought only one Islam. It was just one message of Islam. Qulu la ilaha illallah tuflihu. That just say la ilaha illallah and you will be successful. It was just one message of Islam. So why we have 73 different messages of Islam today? Why does Islam was divided today? The reason because the true message of Islam. The message of Islam that Rasulullah conveyed through Amir al-Mu'mineen, and then Imam al-Hasan, and then Imam al-Hussein, and so on and so forth. That message, a lot of people were basically, they got their ways separated, they got their paths separated. They separated themselves from the message of Ali Muhammad. That's why today, you see a lot of people, they call themselves Muslim, but when you talk to their Islam, like what kind of Islam do you believe in? What kind of Islam you follow? That is Islam that has nothing to do with the real Islam. And those are the people who are harming today. Those are the people who are damaging the religion of Islam. Because if you try to understand Islam away from the path of Ali Muhammad, if you are not getting the message of Islam from Ali Muhammad, then it means that you are not on the right path. Because you have to take Islam and the message of Rasulullah, because Rasulullah has left us two things, Ali Muhammad and the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the people today who are against Azadari, a lot of Muslims, when you talk to them, they say, why you go to majalis? Why you commemorate the shahadat of Sayyid al-Shuhada? Why you beat your chest? Why you cry for Imam al-Hussein? A lot of questions. Whenever the month of Muharram comes, you hear a lot of questions. Everybody, the people who are away from the school of thought of Ali Muhammad, they ask me a lot of questions. Why you do that? Why you do that? Because they are away from the path of Ali Muhammad. And the reason that they have been kept away, because the so-called scholars, the so-called people of those sects, they do not want them to join into these sessions, to come towards these sessions, to come and see what is the message of Hussein in there. What is the message of Ali Muhammad? So if they used to come here, the people, why they're saying that if you go there, so something is going to happen with you, you're not going to be Muslims anymore. If you go into the commemorations of Sayyid al-Shuhada, it means that they know that if people would have joined in these sessions, they'll get the message of true Islam. And when you get the message of true Islam, which is that Sayyid al-Shuhada said, Mithli la yubayu mislah. The one like me cannot pledge allegiance to a person like Yazid and the school of thought like Yazid. Sayyid al-Shuhada did not say that I do not pledge allegiance towards Yazid. He said one like me means that if it would be a person until Qiyamah, until the day of judgment, whoever is associated with school of thought of Ahlul Bayt, whoever calls himself or herself Husayni, Sayyid al-Shuhada did not pledge allegiance in 61st Hijrah, 60th Hijrah. So if a person is called Husayni, cannot pledge allegiance, cannot go down to Yazidiyya, because Husayniyya and Yazidiyya, they are two school of thoughts. So this is the right message that our children, and if we do not bring our children into these sessions, if we call themselves Shia, if we call ourselves Muslims, if we call ourselves believers, but then we don't have time for Ali Muhammad. If someone in our community just loses someone, we go, we go into the funeral and we go, pay our condolences to the family and to the grieved family members. Why? Because if we do not go there today, they'll remember us that a person, my neighbor, my friend, my family member, did not, come to my house to pay condolence. So if the family of Ali Muhammad, if we do not come to the family of Ali Muhammad, you think that Sayyida is not looking at you? You don't believe? If you don't believe, then I'm sorry to say, but then do not call ourselves Shia. If we do not believe in this one, if we believe this, that if we do not go to someone's house, for pay condolence to, his father or his mother or his family member, somebody passed away. So if we think that if we do not go there, he's not going to be happy with us. He's going to be angry with us because we did not attend the ceremony. So if we think that our neighbor, our relative feels that way, if we do not participate in the ceremonies, don't you think that Sayyida would feel this way? Don't you think that if we do not, and a lot of people, it's it's so sad these days that people have divided themselves into part-time Muslims and part-time Shias. It's unfortunate. And that's the reason that we are getting away from our true Azadari. True Azadari is not that you are an Azadar for people. They say, we are Azadar for one day. Why? We just join the commemoration on the day of Ashura. Some people say we are Azadar for 3 days. Some people say we are Azadar for 10 days. No, brothers and sisters. That's not Shiaism. That's not Shi'iyah. That's not the followers of Ahlul Bayt. These are not the true believers of Ali Muhammad. If you call yourself Shia, it means that you have to be in commemoration 365 days. Because in Islam, there's no part-time thing. In Islam, you cannot say that, if I have participated, I give a little bit time to Ali Muhammad. What are you looking for from them? You cannot spare a time, half an hour or an hour for Ali Muhammad, and then we want them to do a shafa'at. We want them on the day of judgment that we go there and they take our hand and they just take us to paradise. Just think, we have to think, where are we heading to? Where are we heading to? And this is the true tradition that our forefathers, our parents, our elders, they used to join these programs. And we have to make special arrangements. It's not that the day of Ashura has gone, so now I just come back to my normal life. The day of Ashura has passed, and then I just come back to my routine. I don't have time for Ali Muhammad. I don't have time for commemoration. I do not have time for matam. I do not have time for letmiyah. I do not have time to listen to majlis. And then I say that, I'm a believer, I'm a Shia. We have to think about it. We have to think about it. It's easy for us to call ourselves Shia. It's easy for ourselves to call that we are the true followers of Ali Muhammad, but let's ask the family of the Prophet that are we really followers? We can call ourselves the true followers, but how our Imams feel about us? How Bibi Fatima Salamullahi alayha feels about us? And if we have a faith in our heart, if we believe in this one, that Sayyida knows who is going to Majlis and who is not. If we have faith in this one, and we have many narrations, that a day before the Majlis is scheduled, Sayyida comes to each and every believer's follower, Shia Azadar's house, and she asks them, your name is written in the list who is going to participate in tomorrow's Majlis. Sayyida goes. So it's us that we have to make special arrangements. If your parents are, not paying attention, just remind them, tell them, father, mother, just leave whatever you are doing. Let's go to Majlis. Let's go to the zikr of Ali Muhammad. Let's go to the commemoration of Ali Muhammad. Let's go to the zikr of Hussein. Because if we are human beings today, it's the sadaqah of Imam Hussein. If I know today who's my mother, if I know today who's my sister, if I know today who's my father, it's because of Imam Hussein. It's because of the great sacrifice of Imam Hussein. And what I'm giving back. And it's not that I'm doing a favor for the family of Ali Muhammad. No. Whatever I'm doing is for myself. It purifies my heart. It purifies my soul. It's not that I beat my chest and somebody else gets benefit. No. It is that I separate myself from those who are called Yazidi. Whenever I just beat my chest, it means it's like a bird. The bird who was, throwing a drop of water on the fire that Namrud has started for Ibrahim to burn into it. And a bird, someone asked, everybody knows that. Somebody asked that bird that the fire is not going to go off with that drop of water. But the bird said, no, I know that. I know that I cannot just eliminate this fire. But on the day of judgment, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would ask me which camp you were in, were you on Namrud's side or were you on Ibrahim's side? So I can say that, I can claim that. No, I was on Ibrahim's side. So when we come to these commemorations, It's on the day of judgment. Because brothers and sisters, and I'll conclude this English part with this one. When the Holy Prophet and even Hazrat Adam, Abul Bashar and Nuh, Ibrahim, everybody all the Prophet has same religion, and that religion was Islam. Inna Dina, in the Islam. All the Prophets preached just one religion. So in the early times, it was two religions. Some people were Muslims and some were non-Muslims. They were in two groups. If you say La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, you are Muslim. But if you do not bear the witness that you are like La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, it means you are not Muslim. But later on, this was divided into further two sects. First, you were either Muslim or non-Muslim. But then, at the time of Amir al-Mu'mineen, the Islam was further divided into two parts. Are you mu'min or are you munafiq? Muslim is a greater term. A Muslim is a greater term, but then within Muslim, you have to dissect that. Within Islam, you have to see that, you have to analyze that what kind of Muslim you are. Are you a true believer? Are you a mu'min? Or are you munafiq? If you are mu'min, then you are true Muslim. And further down the road, even mu'min and munafiq were divided into two parts. And now, until the day of judgment, it is two camps, it's two groups. Either you are Husayni or you are Yazidi. It's two parts. Either you are Husayni or you are Yazidi. And to be Husayni, you do not need to be even Muslim. You do not need to be Muslim. To call yourself Husayni, a lot of people, and you see that. A lot of people, I have, videos, and you must have seen it on social media. Christians in Germany were beating their chest doing Ya Hussein. They're not Muslims, but they are related to Sayyid al-Shuhada. They're not Muslims, but they are in the camp of Hussein ibn Ali. They are Christians, but, and in Karbala, see how many murders? The camp of Sayyid al-Shuhada, the camp of 72, they were not all Shias. It was a different school of thoughts. Even Christians were there. Even the people like Usmanis were there. The people who were against Ali ibn Abi Talib. Who was Zuhair ibn Kay? Zuhair ibn Kay was Usmani. And he basically stood with Sayyid al-Shuhada. Just like it was a matter of days. Right before Karbala, Sayyid al-Shuhada called him. And he refused it. But then his wife said that if you want to join or if you want to stay away, just go yourself and talk to Sayyid al-Shuhada. When he came to the camp of Imam al-Hussein and they had a conversation, the historians, they did not mention that what happened in the tent, but it was a matter of minutes. Within some minutes, Zuhair ibn Kain, who was Usmani, his thoughts were changed. Within a few minutes. He just spent a few minutes with Sayyid al-Shuhada. And some scholars say that maybe Sayyid al-Shuhada has shown his status in paradise. That Zuhair, if you become with me, if you give your life for me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bless you. And this is the status that you are going to get. So brothers and sisters, and I'll conclude with this one. We have to see, where do we stand? It's not just we have a label that we are Husayni. It's not that we have a name tag which is called Hussein. We have to see that what does our character show? How do we behave? How do we behave?